So Michael, we're here at the FIDIC Users International Conference, and you have not only authored a book on construction contract variations, but you've also been presenting on contract variations here at the conference. Could you tell us a little bit more about why variations is such an important topic for FIDIC engineers?
Yeah, I mean, I think variations are sort of probably one of the most important issues to do with construction contracts and construction projects because they're inevitable. Practically every construction project has changes. They're often very contentious, there's a lot of disputes and arguments about them, but also they are sort of key in terms of the profit on a project and how projects work out in terms of final costs. So for employers, they're very worried about them. They think they're going to bust the budget. And for contractors, they sort of see it as one of their key areas as to how they're going to make profit under a contract. And especially with FIDIC contracts, which has very interesting claims provisions, they're really quite relevant, quite important.
Sure, so I mean, you've talked a bit in detail there about FIDIC contracts. I mean, are there any particular issues that you think specifically come up under variations when you're using a FIDIC contract?
Yeah, I mean, I think FIDIC deals with variations in quite an interesting way, and there's some aspects of the clauses which are quite different to the way that variations are dealt with under other contracts. So, for example, one of the interesting things about the FIDIC Yellow Book is it gives the contractor an entitlement to refuse to carry out a variation if it cannot easily obtain the goods, in other words, the materials which it needs to obtain in order to undertake the varied work, the instructed work, or as a result of concerns to do with the design liability that it might have under that particular form of contract, under the Yellow Book, which it wouldn't otherwise have. And these are opportunities for a contractor to potentially refuse to undertake a variation, which it wouldn't necessarily have under a lot of other forms of contracts. So there's lots of interesting provisions in FIDIC which are particularly relating to variations, and that is one particular area which we've been talking about today. So it's really quite interesting.
Okay, well, thanks very much for that, Michael. Really interesting.
Good, pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Great.